Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this breakout session with Sixt, where we will get a better understanding on Sixt vision on flexible and sustainable fleet solutions for the new normal. Knowing Sixt's power to innovate, I'm curious to discover what we will learn from this live discussion. To the participants, please do feel free to ask your questions during the session in the chat box or the Q&A box on the right side of your screen. The speakers will answer them at the end of this session if time allows it. Please know that Sixt will also launch a poll question during the discussion, so please do answer that if you're willing to. It is with pleasure that I introduce and welcome the Sixt delegates for this upcoming discussion. First of all, Mr. Vinzenz Pflanz, President Corporate Sales. Welcome, Vinzenz.
Welcome, David.
And Mr. Florian von Klier, Executive Director, Global Innovations and Solutions at Sixt. Welcome, Florian.
Thank you very much. Welcome, David.
Gentlemen, I will now leave you the floor, and I will join you again, as mentioned, 5 minutes prior to the end of this session, or earlier if your discussion ends earlier, to moderate your Q&A. Gentlemen, the floor is yours.
Thanks for having us, David, and we're looking forward to a great discussion and to questions afterwards. Florian, to kick off the first question, please.
Yes, Vinzenz. What are the main trends, developments of the global fleet market in 2021? And what will be the impact on the general fleet strategies of the corporates?
Great question, Florian. Indeed, we have two perspectives. One is the
Gentlemen, sorry to disturb you, gentlemen. We have a small technical bug. We heard you perfectly at the start of the discussion. Then, Vinzenz, when you started answering the question, we lost you. So perhaps we have a small issue at your side. If your technical colleagues can check. Yes, I think that now. Yes, now we hear you again. Can you hear me? Yes, now we hear you again.
Okay, perfect. Yes. So we restart just.
Yeah,
Florian, you just asked the question again. That's nice when it's live, you know?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, gentlemen, I'll leave you again. See you later.
Thank you, David.
Not from tape.
Yeah.
Vinzenz, once more, what are the main trends, developments of the global fleet market in 2021? And what will be the impact on the fleet strategy of the corporates?
Thank you, Florian. Great question. And we see it from two perspectives. One is the user perspective, and the other one is the fleet manager's perspective. From the user's perspective, it's pretty clear. We have a lower mileage. We have change of mobility needs. We see focus on flexibility, and we see focus on sustainability by the end user. This is mainly driven by tax optimizations due to benefit in kind rules that are changing continuously even those times. And we see the willingness from ownership thought to a pay-on-use model by changing cars, by changing power strains, by changing the size of the car. So therefore is a high demand. We see people driving cars within the week of electric power, and we see weekends where people take bigger cars. In addition, we see the fleet manager. The fleet manager is clearly having a high cost pressure in those times in combination with a focus on a fleet reduction which needs to be executed. In addition, we see the need to decrease the CO2 footprint. All of the big groups have implemented strategies to reduce their carbon footprint up to 0 in 2025 to 2030. So there's a high pressure because the car you buy today and you will use for 4 years will have an impact in 2025 still. And therefore, you have a mix of different drivetrains. And in fleet e-cars, as a fleet manager, the pressure is increasing there significantly. So the changing customer expectation in terms of flexibility and sustainability, as I mentioned on the user side, is as well happening on the fleet manager side. And they have a backup safety net, let's say, they need to bring in now that they can reduce their CO2 footprint. And in addition, we see the digitalization coming up, especially in those times where people are not willing to meet other people. These purchasing channels are getting stronger and stronger and much more relevant. So even in the small fleet environment, people are not going anymore to dealers. They want to have a different channel how they can get cars. So the world is in movement. So there's a lot of change going on, and I think Sixt should be the winner or one of the winners of those developments. And we have done quite a lot to make that happen. Digitalization and flexibility and sustainability, as I mentioned, are often buzzwords. You know,
Absolutely.
what can the mobility world expect from us already now and today instead of the buzzwords?
Thank you. Also a very good question, because digitization, we didn't start to do digitization last year, 2 years ago. We did many, many years ago. For example, we launched in 2019 the Sixt One app, the platform to do seamless booking for rental cars, car sharing, and ride hailing. And those technical developments and the digitization allows also, for example, to push our share approach, micromobility and on cars globally or step by step all over Europe. During the crisis, for example, we launched a pure electric free-floating car sharing in the Netherlands. More than 600 cars you can take from the street in Amsterdam, Rotterdam, Den Haag, and those are pure electric. So this is quite exciting. And also digitization helps us to have a kind of new booking and reservation approach in the car rental industry. If you have a reservation within the app, you can bypass the counter and you can go directly to the car park and pick up the car, open the car via your app. And this technology also allows to build up kind of digital implants at our customer premises. So you don't have to book delivery and collection. It is more convenient and it is definitely more sustainable. And all the employees can directly book in their personal digital corporate implant via the app and pick up the car within minutes. Those are the trends we, of course, push further over the next month and years. But we are here at the Global Fleet Conference. So we rethink mobility for fleets, for company car users. And thank you for mentioning, we spoke about sustainability and flexibility. Therefore, last year we launched our car subscription product, Sixt Plus, all over Europe. And of course, we reinvented the classical long-term product. So we have different versions here. But I want to point out Sixt Long-Term Flex. This is the most flexible and most innovative product we can offer for fleet customers. And it exactly allows you as a customer to book via the app the car you need. You can change the car, you can do upgrades and downgrades, and you can change the mobility or the driving strains whenever you need. And you can pause the booking. So if you decide, for example, okay, I want to go on holidays by plane to Spain or Maldives, you just return the car and you save budget. Or you just want to use and drive electric, you can do so, let's say 40 weeks a year, and the rest when you need reach and size to go to Spain or wherever on holiday, you just pick up a hybrid or a combustion engine. So full flexibility, competitive pricing, and a fantastic way to in-fleet sustainable products, sustainable electric cars with a kind of safety net.
And by keeping the full flexibility of the driver, indeed. Even you can take a car for 11 months and pause for 1 month because you want to take the bike, or for 2 in summertime because the distance is short, or if you're home-based and you don't need a car, you just don't take it, you don't pay it.
Absolutely. And that's the freedom to influence the tax side, the taxation. You can do on purpose downgrades, and then you say, okay, I'm maybe just driving a bigger car, combustion engine for 16 days, but then I go for a short period of time, 2 weeks, just less 2 days, for a small electric car. And of course, this is saving you net income and pure money. And that's our answer at the moment in regards of flexibility, convenience, and of course, the perfect way to in-fleet green mobility and sustainability.
And from an administrational point of view, we even support the fleet manager by giving electronic interfaces to book or to end the rent, and to transfer the values being the base for counting the benefit in kind, right?
Absolutely, that's right. And the whole digital car rental process is in place here also for long-term flex. We have like the corporate customer onboarding via link within the app in 1 minute, and then you're ready to go, ready to book, and the next day you just pick up the car. And when you want to swap the car, you just return the car at the station and you pick up the new reservation and the new booking.
We even played with single sign-on with very big companies already, that the user is automatically booked into the system.
Definitely using the interface, technology interface of the corporate. So you sign in with your email address from your company via your own system, and you're automatically registered with all the information, cost center numbers whatsoever necessary.
But we are even going a step further. Imagine this is a pure car as a service model. And now we are going into mobility as a service model. There are plenty of consultancy firms that are asking us to switch the policy into that direction due to the fact that they are not traveling anymore so much. They want mobility for their private use as well. And the difficult topic on that is for sure the heterogeneous world of the taxation framework in the European Union. So we come along with that. We do a consulting, especially you in your area, global innovations. You are very close
Definitely.
to the client needs and get the requirements and work on that. So what is a great experience that you had recently?
Yeah, the great experience we had, for example, is that we can offer different and flexible solutions, especially for the consulting sector. So because they, from the fleet size, they're still in the 90s, and they ask for sustainability and flexibility. So we are in close cooperation and development of our product world within this sector. But nevertheless, we have also been able to win Deutsche Telekom, for example, as a client for Sixt long-term flags. And the customer feedback is amazing out of this target group. And you just touched a very, very interesting point. Car as a service, buzzword, to mobility as a service, also a buzzword. Could you please tell us a little bit more in which direction is Sixt going here?
Yeah, we are working very hard. You know that the second biggest department within Sixt is IT. We have an own development center in Bangalore with hundreds of programmers. We have people, 3-digit people in the Ukraine and in Germany to program our new world of mobility, the mobility suite that we put into play. And there you can expect from us quite a lot of new measures being in place. For example, an app budget solution. yeah, that we will place. We will have rent ride share that we have already, but with a very increased scope of micro-mobility, especially across Europe, but as well in the US. And you can clearly see that share is coming up as well in business. So people, instead of taking a rental car or a taxi at airports, they take a share product and they park it right in front of the meeting place and take another car and go back to the airport or to the next meeting. So there is quite a lot of network expansion going on at this stage. And I look pretty much positive forward that the big fleets will even see that there is increased opportunities in this space and cost reduction in parallel. Imagine in former times you had a company car, 365 days, and then you did travel. So you had another 100 days of a car rental. This is old times, you know. In reality, you needed one car for 280 days a year because you were traveling. And this is now not the case anymore. You can buy those 280 days wherever you want. So it is a really good saving opportunity.
Absolutely. And that's a very good example you just gave us, because what we experience, for example, with Pflanz, customers boarded on, registered, and they changed the car, the company car, returned the old one, purchase fleet whatsoever, and they didn't pick up a new one. So they signed for the product, and we asked them, are you not happy with the product whatsoever? And they told us, we are very happy because we just don't need a car right now. I need it maybe in 3 weeks for 1 week holiday, but why should I pick a car right now if I don't have a mobility need? And that's exactly the flexibility we need.
I learned, especially in the very big cities in Europe, London, Paris, and so on, that drivers in the pharmaceutical industry, for example, tell us, don't penalize me with a car. You know, the cost of a parking, the cost of benefit in kind, and then you don't use it because you're anyhow just in a traffic jam.
Fines.
And the fines. So I think those flexible models are really state of the art and will evolve further into the fleet sector. David, good to see you again.
Thank you, gentlemen, for your insights. So we have minutes, gentlemen, and we have some questions in the Q&A box. First question, I'll leave you the choice who answers. Can the car sharing cars be placed at my company's premises? That's the first question from one of the attendees.
That's a great question. We name that virtual implant, David. You know, we put a virtual implant that is a geo-fenced frame at the parking of a company where we put cars, and you can use the cars like a sharing car by opening by app. You go with the car wherever you want, like at home, you park the car, next day you return. You can do that in various business cases and use cases. So the answer is yes. A virtual branch is where everybody can go to that place and take a car. And what will be the future? Very clear in the big parking facilities like with Apcoa or others, we will have parking space where you can take the car and go out of the car into the city and then take another car. And this is possible at every place, so even at the facilities of every company.
Okay, I think that's
so you can name it. Sorry, you can name it a kind of digital carpooling only for your employees, having a number of cars fully digitized, bookable via the app, and you can share within your employees. And of course, as mentioned before, we are working on the rollout. So if you're in the urban areas, you will find just the car in front of the building or the corporate site.
Especially in Berlin, we stuff a lot of companies with additional share cars. They can take it to their premises, take it after the work back into the entire city, and next day they take another car and go to the premises again by just paying the time that they need from A to B.
Okay, thank you for the clear answer. We have 2 more questions getting in right now. So Jose Esparza is asking us, is it available right now and in which countries? I assume that this could maybe, Florian, maybe Jose can answer this question through the chat to you, because you might need to list along. I'll let you answer, but is this a simple answer or? should this be followed up?
We can follow that up directly, very clear. And thank you for asking that question, Jose. It is available in all the corporate countries of Sixt, which is Europe and the US.
Okay, very good. Thank you. One more question from Andy Sasha. Can you charge an EV through the app, and does it connect to Concur?
Andy, great question. And unfortunately, we didn't see each other for quite a while. But even by not seeing you, I send you my great wishes and hope your family is well. The app, yeah, indeed, you can, with our app solution in the next month, you will be able to fill the car at a filling station and automatically get the invoice on the rental invoice. So you do not need to pay. And this is valid for charging electric cars as well as for combustion engines.
And we already do it for
Share.
fueling up in Share. So you just go with the app to the station, you fill it up, and you can straight away leave. You don't have to go in and pay.
Okay.
So it's paid by pump number.
Very clear. Okay. Last question before we need to leave you, gentlemen. Next to Sixt, a question from Tim de Weert. Which other players do you see as critical in the new mobility ecosystem?
There are many players out there at the moment, and there are many players out there trying to find a new solution or promising a lot. And I think it is crucial to have, competition able to fulfill the promises they give. They have to have the knowledge how to steer a fleet. They have to have a fleet knowledge. They have to have the cars and, of course, also the contracts with the manufacturers to be able, of course, to fulfill the customer needs. And those customers' needs will be more and more sustainable, first of all, and flexible in the future. And it will be clearly a shift from car as a service within the next upcoming month and years to mobility as a service.
So the leasing companies will be key next to the OEM in future. The non-captive and captive environment will be essential for the fleet and mobility space. This is very obvious, and we see some newcomers like subscription model providers, as we are as well. And we see the mass product coming up, and there is a fragmented market at this stage. Hundreds of new startups are coming up, and very few will survive that, but they will be essential in future.
Okay, well, thank you, Vinzenz, for answering that question. Gentlemen, we now need to leave you, gentlemen. We need to leave the participants a bit more time to network. And then at 4:40 p.m., we will be able to join the executive OEM panel on the main stage. So everybody's welcome. Gentlemen, once again, thank you for your support, for your contribution. It was nice seeing you again, and hopefully we will be able to see each other in live in the very near future. Gentlemen.
Stay healthy, David. Thank you for making it happen.
David.
Thank you, gentlemen. Have a nice afternoon.
Bye-bye. Cheers. Bye.
Bye.